everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2015 movie Hotel Transylvania 2. The movie is directed by Genndy Tartakovsky and written by Robert Smigel and Adam Sandler. And this movie takes place a few years after the first movie. Mavis and Johnny at the beginning of the movie are getting married and everything, and then it skips a year into the future and they have a baby, and then it skips a few more years into the future right before the kid's about to turn 5 years old. He still hasn't grown his vampire fangs yet and everything, and Adam Sandler's character Dracula is trying to figure out how to make his fangs grow in. And throughout the movie, he's trying to figure out a way to make them grow, because if they don't, then Mavis and Johnny and him are going to move out into the human world and everything, and he wants them to be able to stay there where they can live with him and stuff still. And so he eventually sends Mavis and Johnny out, because Johnny doesn't want to leave either, and they go to visit Johnny's parents and everything, see if they think that Dennis will do good in there and everything. And while they're doing that, Dracula and his friends are trying to teach Dennis how to learn how to fly and everything, because he wants him to be able to become a vampire and everything. And also his Dracula's dad, Vlad, has been invited to the birthday party, and he doesn't know it yet. He's going to be coming and everything, and he doesn't think that Vlad would accept Dennis and everything, because he's half human, because he says that Vlad is more against humans than he is and everything. He's like, I've been able to accept it and stuff, but it won't be as easy to accept for him and everything. So the third act of the movie is pretty much everybody gets back to the hotel, and Mavis is mad at Dracula because she knows what he did, or that he was trying to get him to fly and try to force him out to become a monster, and everything. And but Vlad gets the invitation, so he starts to head there with one of his servants or whatever, that's like this human vampire bat hybrid and everything. And he shows up there, he finds out that he's not fully vampire and everything, and you can tell it kind of makes him mad and stuff. And Dracula and Vlad get in a big argument, and Mavis ends up forgiving Dracula and everything, and then but Dennis runs away when everybody's fighting, so he runs away with Winnie, one of the pups from the Wolfman, and she's voiced by Sadie Sandler, Adam Sandler's daughter. But they go into the forest, and Bella, who was the vampire human hybrid thing, or vampire bat human hybrid thingy, has a whole bunch of them coming. He tries to attack them, and he calls for the others that were in the cave with him and Vlad to join him and everything. And so Dracula and Mavis and the other monsters are trying to get rid of all of them, and Vlad comes down there and ends up finishing off the last one, making him leave, and then he ends up accepting that his grandson is half human, and that's pretty much the end of the story. I actually enjoyed this movie a lot more on rewatch. When I saw it the very first time, I don't really remember my first time watching it, but I remember that I was disappointed with it and everything. But on rewatch, I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I remembered. The voice cast is once again great. Adam Sandler is back as Dracula. He's still just as good as he was in the first movie. Kevin James as Frankenstein, Steve Buscemi as Wolfman, and David Spade as Invisible Man are all great. John Lovitz, who voiced Quasimodo in the first movie, is back in this one as well. He's voicing the Phantom of the Opera, who is like kind of like the lounge singer or whatever at the hotel and everything. And he's pretty hilarious in the scenes that he's in. And then the new cast in this is all pretty good too. Asher Blankoff does the voice of Dennis, and he does a really good job and everything. I think he was really good. Keegan-Michael Key takes over the voice of Murray the Mummy. In the first movie he was voiced by CeeLo Green. This time he's voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, and I think he did a good job too. I kind of liked him a little bit better. He kind of gives the character a little bit more personality. Mel Brooks does the voice of Vlad, who's Dracula's dad, and he was good and everything. I just kind of wish that he was in the movie more, because his character is barely even in this movie and everything. He was just kind of there for the third act. They mention him a little bit earlier in the movie, but they don't actually show him until the third act and everything. And he was good though in the little bit of time we got him. Nick Offerman plays Mike, who was Johnny's dad, and he's okay too. And the mom is played by Megan Mullally. Her name is Linda, and they're both fine and everything. I didn't really care too much for the characters, but they're not that bad either. They're all right. And Dana Carvey does the voice of a character at this camp thing that they take Dennis to try to teach him how to become a vampire, or on helping him become a vampire and everything. And his character's name is Dana too, but he's pretty funny too and everything. It has a really good solid voice cast and everything, just like the first movie. But and of course Selena Gomez and Andy Samberg return as Johnny and Mavis, and they're still just as good too and everything. I really enjoyed this movie and everything. I like how it's all set up and everything. The first act is pretty much just showing their life since the first movie, and then the second act is them just the way everything just goes in this movie. I think it works really well. I don't think, like I said, this one seems to have a little bit more of a plot than the first movie did, but not that much really. But it's still enjoyable and entertaining and everything. So I'd give Hotel Transylvania 2 an 8 out of 10, because it is a good movie. It's not quite as good as the first movie though. I still like the first one better, but I still think this one was a lot better on rewatch, and still is pretty enjoyable and everything. And so let me know in the comments what you think of Hotel Transylvania 2, and I hope you enjoy this video, and have a good day everybody.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. That's enough, Scott.